What's going on behind the scenes and off the microphone at the Magic Word podcast? Hear what listeners and guests are saying that isn't on the podcast this week on The Magic Whisper.
Hello, this is Scott Wells, and welcome to the 7th edition of the Magic Whisper. Thank you guys for tuning in then each week and me letting you know a little bit about what's happening in the world of magic as far as from my perspective and things that I've heard about. Right now, you're not being able to tell, but I'm letting my beard and my hair grow out a little bit. I'm not going to shave between now and the first of the year because soon going to be Santa Claus. It's not that far away, just about 6 months from now or so. So I'm going to start letting that grow out and having a little pizza also. Let the belly grow a little bit. I also wanted to say, by the way, that we had just a great episode last week in the Magic Word podcast with David Williamson, and I've received a lot of good feedback from many of the listeners, one of which had said, Kent Dickinson had said to me, it was not clear what podcast David and I were referring to. We were talking about the Wild Things, and that is the Wild Things podcast, which was an Apple podcast, and it was a limited series that just ran for a few episodes, and you can quickly download that and binge listen to all those. But essentially, it was about the tiger bite and the ending of the Siegfried and Roy era, and it's quite fascinating and some information that is trying to be brought to light. It's worth your time, I think, if you haven't tuned into that. Again, that's the Wild Things on Apple, but you can find it, I'm sure, on whatever platform that you listen to your podcasts. Someone also asked me about some of my guests who have passed on and about how many that there have been that I have spoken with who are no longer with us. Well, over the last 13 years that I've been doing this, which, by the way, as of August the 11th, completed my 13th year of doing it with over 850 episodes, I'm guesstimating probably about 30 people maybe who have passed on, 25 or 30. That might be something worthwhile for someone who is a researcher, who is a fan or a listener who wants to go into the archives and dig that out. If you'll go to the magicwordpodcast.com, then you can go to the archives, take a look and see some of the names. And I know there have been some like David Berglas and Paul Daniels, Tom Mullica, Laurie Becker, Harry Lorraine, and Tom Craven, just to name a few there. And of course, during the conventions, I have talked with several people, let's say like Marvin Roy and William Rauscher and some others who I haven't had a full episode on, but have passed on anyhow. But those are some who are in some of the convention episodes where we have daily content and reports on that. One last thing, too, I want to thank Charlie Randall for being my fact checker. Thank you very much. He had pointed out the fact that Circus 1903, in which David Williamson has been the ringmaster, was not a Cirque du Soleil thing. That was not hosted or that was not presented by them. It was an independent thing. The Circus 1903 was not Cirque du Soleil, so I stand corrected. I had mentioned that in the pod letter, which I recommend if you haven't subscribed to that, you need to do that also. Speaking of streaming services, and I don't think I really was, but I might as well bring that up. I just heard this week that Paramount and Warner Brothers and a few others apparently have had some massive layoffs because they're going to start to go more towards streaming services. And I mentioned that because I was talking with Greg Wilson, who has a lot of illusions that he stores, and sometimes the television stations and movie studios rent these illusions for their productions. Well, he's having less and less of that as they're moving out of Hollywood and going to other places, Las Vegas or wherever else where they're doing some of these things. Plus, they are actually starting to do other productions, I guess, for streaming things rather than movies that they're doing, which is why I guess they've had some layoffs then as well. So that's just a little bit. Well, this week we're going to be talking to Michael Mode, and you may not know who he is, but he was a former trade show magician. He specialized really in car shows, and he is also the co-author with Jeff Hobson of this book over here, which is The Best Jokes Ever. And this is a great book. And he's also the creator of the Napkin Rose. I should say the Napkin Rose napkins. That's the one that has two colors like green. And then you have the red, pink, yellow, and white and purple. Anyhow, he is going to be our guest this week. And so let's just listen to a little clip from that episode.
It was interesting building a crowd, though. I learned a lot over the years. The crowd and the way they were all standing up and in that area. Uh-huh. could make or break a show. As you know, you've done a ton of shows.
Yeah, I have.
If there was a baby stroller in the way, that would ruin it for, that would take up a big space.
Yeah.
So people didn't want to move up because they could see.
Mm-hmm.
So why should they move up? So I would say, folks, take a few steps in so the people behind you can move up so they don't block the alley. And then they would turn around and see that there were people behind them. And then they go, oh, okay, now I'll move up so those people can move up. So
one of the cool things, by the way, this week is Michael is offering 2 prizes of the 3 packages each of the Napkin Roses. And he's also going to be offering a copy of the book, Best Jokes Ever. So there'll be a total of 3 prizes that will be awarded. So be sure to go to themagicwordpodcast.com where you can register your name and your email address. And then we'll have a random drawing in a couple weeks, and perhaps you might be the name that is drawn. So that's going to be coming up this week. And as always, I would like to have you to help me with the Magic Whisper. So if you hear of any news or something that might be interesting to the rest of the viewers and listeners, please send that over then to me, Scott, at themagicwordpodcast.com, and we will post that and talk about that then in next week's episode or in future episodes as you hear something that would be of note or of interest. I also want to congratulate Colin Cloud this week. I happened to pick up this picture off of his Instagram page. He was proposing to his wife while he was in Edinburgh. I guess he was working the Edinburgh Fringe Festival, which is going on during the month of August right now. So congratulations, Colin. And I want to congratulate you for coming in and listening to this and also helping to spread the word. If you would please share, comment, and like, and subscribe. We appreciate everything that you do. And be sure to listen to the Magic Word Podcast coming up again later this week. It's always released on Thursday morning, 9 o'clock Central Time. And also, if you have a picture that you want to send in, like the one we've got here of Colin, giving that pose, putting your finger to your lips, please send that to me. I'd be glad to put your picture here then too. So thank you very much. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. And so please share the word and keep the secret.
Share the whisper with other magicians and join us next time on The Magic Whisper. The Magic Whisper is a division of the MagicWordPodcast.com.